Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to learn about prepositions. Let's further refine our knowledge we have gained from the previous grades. A preposition comes before noun or pronoun and usually expresses something about its position, place, or time in connection with other words in a sentence. There are three main types of prepositions: the main prepositions, prepositions of time and place, prepositions as adverbs. Let us explore them step by step. The main prepositions. The word preposition means to place in front of. A preposition can tell you about the relationship between the noun or pronoun and the rest of the sentence. Example: the mountains are beyond the river. The rocks lay along the coast. He said that he wanted to sail across the sea. A list of prepositions is given below: above, after, across, against, along, among, around, at, before, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, for, from, in, into, near, off, on, onto, over, sinks, through, under. Prepositions of time and place. Prepositions can tell us something about time or place. For example, soldiers spend 6 months at the camp during their training. You should borrow some books from the library. Prepositions as adverbs. Some prepositions can change the meaning of the verbs. The houses stood between the cliffs and the sea. In this sentence, the preposition between is attached to the verb stood. The rocks came under attack from the waves of the sea. The preposition under describes who was attacked by the waves, that is, the rocks. Let us now engage in some exercises. The main prepositions. Identify the main prepositions in the following sentences. John looked beyond the sea and spotted a ship at the horizon. The shepherd keeps guard over the sheep from the wolves. The book belongs to Anthony. We located the key for the lock. I got a package from a friend. They were sitting by the tree. I was unable to get out of the appointment. The caterpillar turned into a butterfly. She never leaves without her phone. It is up to us to find the answer. Now, identify the prepositions of time and place. We are running in the gym today. I walked down the street. I have liked that song since 1999. She put the flowers by the window. The food was placed on the table. The car went through the tunnel. The sun is above the clouds. He swam at the lake. She lives near her workplace. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess. Now there is one more challenge. Identify the prepositional adverbs. After he finished wiping his shoes, he stepped inside. In the last quarter of the game, their fans cheered them on. In the middle of the investigation, an informant came forward with valuable information. As they passed by, they saw all kinds of amazing sights through the window of the train. We were playing records and Paul was just hanging around. The book with the tattered cover had been read many times. The clues within the first few chapters will lead to the murderer. The car beside the red one is the one I want to buy. Tell me the story about the dragon slayer. Racing toward the finish line, Sarah realized she just might win. For extra knowledge, prepositions versus prepositional adverbs. If you're still confused about the difference between prepositions and prepositional adverbs, don't worry. The difference between the pure preposition and the prepositional adverb is illustrated by the following two sentences. He ran up the stairs. He ran up a bill. In the first sentence, a prepositional phrase, stairs, is the object of up. Here, up indicates that a person was moving in a certain direction. The main prepositions always indicate a direction. In the second sentence, which has a prepositional adverb, bill is not the object of up. The word up indicates here a change in the verb run to indicate that an action is being performed. While the prepositions are limited in number, they are important because they act as vital markers to the structure of a sentence. They mark special relationships between persons, objects, and locations. For this reason, we should think carefully about how we incorporate the learning of prepositions in the class. What problems can prepositions cause for learners of English and their teachers? It's very difficult to use prepositions correctly in English, and they present a number of problems for both teachers and learners. First, most prepositions, especially the common ones, have several different functions. The preposition at, for example, has as many as 18 different functions, depending on which dictionary you consult. As vocabulary items in their own right, prepositions can therefore present a major challenge, and it's not unusual for learners of English to ask teachers to explain what a word such as at means. Our advice to our students is simple. Read regularly, at least 30 minutes per day. Engage in conversation. The more you hear and speak, the more is your ability to pick up the correct vocabulary. Constant practice involving the above two exercises will help the students to become more confident in the use and identification of prepositions, especially when using the right preposition relevant to the situation a student will face. I recommend that you use the textbook after watching this video. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again in the next session.